Round number 11 of NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship takes the drivers to the Granite State. New Hampshire Motor Speedway awaits the best in the iRacing service. Good evening, my name is Daryl Morley. Alongside me is Tim Terry, Nimcross with us as well. And tonight, Tim, the drivers head to not only one of the only 1 mile racetracks on the entire circuit, but a racetrack that a lot of people believe to be symmetrical. However, there's a little surprise on the backstretch here at New Hampshire.
Indeed there is, Daryl. This is going to be a fantastic show. 43 of the best sim racers from around the globe going at it for 150 laps around this 1 mile racetrack. And I heard some of the drivers, Nim, describe this racetrack really as a bigger Martinsville. And I think we're going to see a lot of that short track-esque type racing here this evening. I think we're in for a good show.
Yeah, these cars are very difficult to get woke down in these corners. The corners are very flat. Only a couple of degrees of banking in the corners, a 1.06 mile track. And you'll see these guys using the middle to upper portions of the racetrack, trying to get a little bit more grip up there. The pavement changes as you go from top to bottom, and those guys will be looking for some grip up in the upper half of the track.
Of course, the surprise we talked about, or the difference between the back stretch and the front stretch, oh, not that big of a deal, only about 6 to 8 inches, but the backstretch is technically higher in elevation than the backstretch is. One of the few racetracks with that little feature in it. The reason is when they repaved this racetrack or rebuilt this racetrack way back in the day, they said, you know what, let's make the backstretch just a little bit higher to add for some better viewing angles for the race fans. So the backstretch just a wee bit higher than the front stretch is. So technically, when you go through turns 1 and 2, you're going uphill. When you go through turns 3 and 4, you're going downhill. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. However, the drivers have told us turn 3 and 4 does feel just a little bit different than turns 1 and 2. And Tim, that could be just a little bit of the reason why.
Indeed, it could very well be, Daryl. And you look at this race, we're going to have some pro drivers joining us in this show as well. And one of those drivers is Kevin King. And Kevin King, Nim, during the Class A races at this racetrack last week, was very fast. And he was fast on the short run, he was fast on the long run. So Kevin King, like a Steve Sheehan last year when he won his first race as pretty much a nobody in this series, or a newbie to this series, Kevin King, no stranger to sim racing, a veteran in this sport, and I believe Kevin King could very well win this race tonight.
Yeah, Kevin has a lot of race experience, even though this is his first race in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. He has a lot of race experience under his belt. He's won many league championships. He has a number of wins on the iRacing service, so he's a very experienced driver. This will be his first race with this NASCAR Series here, the highest echelon of racers here at iRacing. So we'll see how he does, and we'll see if he can handle the pressure.
I don't think Kevin King will have a problem with the pressure. High pressure situations, not a problem for Kevin King at all. He's used to being in high pressure situations after all. Kevin King came from the original pressure cooker, that of course, Tim, known as DMP.
Indeed, you're right, Daryl, and you look at drivers like Steve Sheehan, you look at drivers like Richard Towler, and drivers like that, Brad Davies being another one of those that have gone through that series that was previous to this iRacing simulation and now have come up to the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship. This field is stacked with talent, and just looking through here at some of the drivers that made it in, how about Chris Henyon? Chris Henyon is going to start 22nd here this evening, and that might be the benefit for those pro drivers, Nim, of these drivers being, this track being a little bit difficult. These pro drivers get to jump up and maybe make a name for themselves here tonight.
One thing about the pro drivers here, they have come from a lot of drivers trying to make this field, thousands of drivers trying to make it into the Pro Series, which eventually will make it into this field through the Pro Series that are coming up this fall. But these drivers are no slouches. You know, they have raced through tournaments and different racing series to get to this level, and they have come through a lot of competition. So no doubt that these guys are in their first race here tonight, but it is well deserved, and they have proven that they are good enough to be here.
speaking about being good enough to be here, one of the reasons to be here is to try to win this championship and win the well over $10,000 that comes with this championship. And Tim, you've got a little bit of a rundown on who's in contention, at least at this point, as we go into round number 11 in this championship chase.
Very stout list of drivers as well. You look at Thomas Hazard at the top of the standings. Ray Alfala only 7 points behind, with Brad Wright, the rookie, in position number 3. Tyler Hudson in 4th, and Brian Schoenberg in 5th. Josh Parker in 6th. John Gorlinski, Brad Davies, Barry, and Wood round out your top 10. And just outside in 11th is Sheehan. Sheehan 8 points out of the top 10. And Nim, Steve could very well come up on some history this evening, and by history I mean he could become the first driver to ever go back to back to back and win 3 consecutive races in this series.
Yeah, that's a tough challenge to do, although he's got a good setup here tonight and he's got a fast car, so very possible for him to make that happen, but there are 43 other drivers out there that are going to try to stop that.
Well, Steve Sheehan will be starting in a great position to do that, and he's always loved these flat tracks. Doesn't matter where he runs it. This racetrack has always been a special racetrack, and he loves those flat tracks. Steve Sheehan, the odds-on favorite here tonight, and Sheehan will roll off from position number 1, Tim.
And Daryl, I talked to Brian Schoenberg before we got going, and Brian led many laps in a Class A race earlier on in the week, and he said that crew chief Jason Loping has brought chassis number 55-6. They ran it at Martinsville, they ran it at Richmond. Those 2 racetracks pretty similar to New Hampshire, so he ran good there. He should run good here at New Hampshire, and he's looking to get a little bit better than that 5th place in the point standings right now. And Schoenberg qualified in 9th, so Nim, he has a little ways to go to get that 55 to the front.
Well, Schoenberg's a good driver, and he's been around a lot this season at the end, being that he's in the top 5 in points. He's already proven that he's able to get it there at the end, and he's doing a good job this season. So that chassis is already proven and should be working out good for him tonight.
One of the complaints that Schoenberg had earlier on in the week during his initial practice sessions as he was out there practicing with Kevin King, I was able to listen in on some of the practice sessions, is he was good if he was leading, good in clean air, but the second he got behind somebody, the car game became almost impossible to drive, and he couldn't track anybody down. Not a big deal if you're leading the race. However, Brian Schoenberg will not be starting position number 1. The show will be starting in spot number 9 tonight, Tim.
I think another driver we have to watch, as we're getting mighty close to going to the grid here, is Josh Berry in the 72, winner last season at this racetrack, and he likes this racetrack. His teammates were very fast in the Class A division earlier on in the week. But another thing we have to watch here, Nim, if something happens, something will happen here big. We saw at Martinsville where we had a big wreck where a bunch of cars were involved. There's a little more speed involved here, so if something happens, it's likely going to happen big, and it's likely going to take a bunch of cars along with it.
Yeah, and you know, when you're trying to pass here, you're in big groups, and it's hard to pass here. This track, you get down to the corner, and even though it looks 4, 5, 6 lanes wide, you know, the racing group is only a couple lanes wide, and all these drivers are very good, so it's difficult to get around each other at this place.
Drivers being called to the grid. We're waiting on just a few more drivers, the later stragglers, if you will, to get to their starting positions, and we'll let you know who will start where here for round number 11 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our starting lineup. A lot of drivers to get to, a lot of stars, and a lot of cars. Driving the number 6, starting from the pole, it's Steve Sheehan, winner of 2 in a row, going for 3 here tonight. Qualified in with a 29.146 second lap outside of row number 1, the number 54 of Derek Wood.
It's main performance PC on the next row with Josh Berry on the inside, 72, and to the outside, Daniel Pope II.
Starting 5th on the inside of row number 3, Josh Parker. On the outside of Josh is Brad Davies, last season's runner-up in starting position number 6.
Thomas Hazard looking to build on a phenomenal season so far. Will start 7th and starting 8th. The 0-2, the young one, the young rookie, we should say, for Jeremy Allen.
As the cars begin to roll off on the inside is Brian Schoenberg, 55, and the outside, Kevin King. That's going to be a row to watch here.
Row 6, Patrick Fogel on the inside, Richard Towler on the outside.
Brad Wright will start inside of row number 7 and the number 48, and there's the young one, Connor McKenzie, the number 10, starting 14th.
Tom Lewandowski starts in 15th, and to the outside, the 2 of Ray Alfala.
Josh Parker starts 17th, Stephen Gilbert 18th.
Jordan Erickson starts 19th in the number 85 and starting 20th, the number 38 of Chris Main.
Your next row is Jordan Hightower on the inside in the GS Racing ride, and to the outside it's Chris Henyon.
Joshua Lawson starts 23rd and 24th, Jay Stander.
Byron Daly will start 25th in the number 91 and starting 26th, the number 14 of Matthew Moose.
Next up, Justin Lowry and Greg Spears.
Justin Tremblay and Vinny Sansone go 29th and 30th.
Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn. Green flag flies. We are underway here at New Hampshire. We'll get to the rest of the drivers in just a little while. We promise we'll let you know where your drivers are running at some point, and several times we'll make a full field rundown here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Top three get out to single file racing, Daryl. It's side by side for fourth. Here comes Josh Parker. Down low, Parker looking to pick up a position early.
Yeah, Parker holding that inside line, getting a little bit squirrely down there, but able to get a good bite off of the corner. He'll slot into that fifth position.
Brad Davies trying to get on the move here. The number 11 Whiskey River sponsored ride. Brad Davies trying to get on the move, but here comes Jeremy Allen. Allen trying to get a look to the inside of Davies.
Looking to the inside, trying to get a run, trying to pick up a few more spots here. Track position very, very key as we complete lap number 2.
See, coming off the corner right there, Thomas Hazard, your points leader, gets a little bit of the wall, gets a little bit of that right side paint against the wall, but doesn't think they're doing any damage. Schoenberg down on the inside, really working his car hard. Coming off of corner number 2, Hazard still has that outside line.
Schoenberg leading that inside charge. Brian Schoenberg down on the low line, pushing about as hard as he possibly can. Schoenberg down on the inside, side by side with the number 9 of Thomas Hazard. They'll drag race out of turn number 4.
And one thing we really didn't touch on in the pre-race show, Daryl, is these drivers like the high line. We're going to see two groove racing as here comes the 29 of Kevin King to the outside line. As you look back from Thomas Hazard, Kevin King wants to pick up a position on Schoenberg.
Hazard definitely making that outside line work. He'll gain that position. Now King looks to the inside of Schoenberg. Schoenberg up on the outside. We'll see if he can make that momentum work up on the outside as they come off corner number 4. It looks like he does.
Schoenberg and King now side by side. Brian Schoenberg on the outside, Kevin King on the inside. Looks like Schoenberg will drop in line behind King, and look at RT. Richard Towler just behind them trying to get something going.
Richard Towler on the inside, Brad right on the outside trying to maintain the position. Towler to the inside, looking to pick up one more. Patrick Fogel in the 51 just in front of them. Fantastic battling just outside the top 10.
Towler gets a good bite coming off of corner number 2, but Wright able to hold him off going down to corner number 3. Towler down on the inside, very flat down there, very hard to keep your car underneath you as they come off a corner. You don't want to get too low because it gets even flatter down there on the apron. But right now, Towler fighting very hard down the inside line. He's holding off the challenges of Wright right now.
Sorry, I haven't started it.
Your leaders, Steve Sheehan is your race leader. Derek Wood sits in second. Josh Berry is third. Daniel Pope is fourth. And rounding out your top 5 is Josh Parker.
And Josh Parker right now closing in on the driver in front of him, Daniel Pope, the second for position number 4. Parker has been steady since we dropped the green flag in gaining time, and right now he wants to gain that 4th position.
Yeah, Parker is always a charger, and he'll take that position if he has a chance. But right now, running in the 5th spot, trying to maintain those tires and just keep going. It looks like Brad Davies trying right behind him, trying to actually make a little bit of a move there going into the corner, but he'll fall back in line also. These guys right now just trying to take care of their tires, probably get about 60, 70 laps out of these tires before they want to make a pit stop, but long way to go. 150 lap race, and we are on lap number 9.
Steve Sheehan is your leader. Derek Wood sits in second. Third is Josh Berry. Fourth belongs to Daniel Pope. The second. Fifth is Josh Parker. Sixth is Brad Davies, although Davies looking for more on the inside. Davies down to the inside, side by side, drag race for fifth.
As they go down the front straightaway, Brad Davies looking to take the position away. He may have him cleared. Here comes the 81 on the outside line. Josh Parker does not want to let it go. Down the back straightaway they'll go, and Davies and Parker make contact.
Yeah, they trade a little paint coming off corner number 2, and they trade a little bit more paint going into corner number 3. Davies moves to the outside. Parker has to give up that position. Parker way up high against the wall, but he's able to gather it back in, and Davies takes the spot.
That could get Parker's temper flaring just a little bit. We'll see what happens with Josh Parker. I don't think you'll see Josh Parker come back at Brad Davies, and if he does, I don't think it's going to be that obvious, Tim. Josh Parker a little bit smarter than that.
But right now he's got another thing to worry about. He's going to fall back into the clutches here. Jeremy Allen, Thomas Hazard, Kevin King. A lot of strong drivers there looking to pick up a position at the expense of Josh Parker.
Yeah, everybody working single file down right now. We'll continue that full field rundown. We'll start again with the 11th position. In the 11th spot, Richard Towler. 12th, Patrick Fogel. Brad Wright. We got a yellow flag on the track? No, we're still good. I'm sorry. Brad Wright, 13th. Thomas Lewandowski, 14th. Ray Alfala, 15th. Jordan Erickson, 16th. Stephen Gilbert, 17th. Connor McKenzie, 18th. Chris Hennigan, 19th. And Jordan Hightower is in 20th, Tim.
As you watch Thomas Hazard make a move, you look back 21st on back, you see John Prather, Chris Main, Joshua Lawton, Byron Daly, Jason Anderson having a great run so far in 25th. 26th belongs to Tyler Hudson, Nolan Scott, Matthew Moose, Brian Blackford, and rounding out your top 30 is Justin Lowry.
31st, we find Greg Spears. Theo Olson is 32nd. 33rd is John Gorlinski as Thomas Hazard makes a move here and picks up a spot. Thomas Hazard on the move, and looks like a little bit of difficulty out there on the racetrack for a couple other drivers as Thomas Hazard has no problem working his way by the 0-2 of Jeremy Allen. Allen could find himself falling victim to Kevin King as well. Last thing you want to do is make a mistake in front of Kevin King. He will capitalize. We'll continue with that full field rundown. I believe we were all the way up to 34th, Vinny Sansone. 35th is Andrew Fayash III. 36th is Robert Hall. 37th is Josh Connors. 38th is Chad Coleman. 39th is Florian Goddard. 40th, there we go, is Justin Trombley. 41st is John Costa. And rounding out your field is Dana Weimer. That's your full field rundown presented by iRacing.
And looking back at Justin Trombley, this is his home track, so he's looking to pick up a good finish here. As you look at Brad Davies right now, Brad Davies looking to pick up the position on Daniel Pope, and Pope lets him have it going into the corner, and now Davies will look at Josh Berry about 0.8 of a second in front of him.
Yep, Daniel Pope, they're very smart. Early on in the race, lap number 17th, he's not going to get into a big fight right now. Brad Davies looking very fast, so there's no reason to pick up a good battle with him right now that'll use up your car. So Davies gets by into the 4th spot, and Pope will fall back in line and see if he can't challenge him later.
Looking back, Thomas Hazard on the move. He's caught Josh Parker and will look to find a way around the number 81 Schwab Degree for Men sponsored ride for Josh Parker. Parker hangs it out coming out of turn number 2, and no such problems for Josh Parker. He knows how to handle a loose race car, a tight race car, doesn't make a difference. Parker can adjust his driving style to his car and also knows how to adjust that car to his driving style as well. Josh Parker is prepared for a long, long night here at New Hampshire if need be, Tim.
And you look back there to Thomas Hazard as Hazard pokes the nose underneath, trying to make the move on Josh Parker for the position. I watched Hazard a little bit earlier on this week, Nim, when he was in one of the Class A races, and he likes these long runs, and you see it here, underneath the number 81 for the position, looking to pick it up, looking good so far through corners number 3 and 4, but he's going to slide back off on corner number 4. It's also going to open the door for the 0-2. Here comes Jeremy Allen.
Yeah, so hard to keep your momentum up down low, and if you get your car working down low, you will have a big advantage over the field. Hazard's doing a pretty good job down there, but it's just a little bit more grip up on that outside lane, and Hazard not able to complete that pass down low that last time.
So Thomas Hazard will have to reset and try it again, and he will reset very quickly and try it again. The rest, no rest for the wicked, as they say, for the number 81 of Josh Parker, as Hazard will go right back on the assault to Josh Parker. The 0-2 also right there. That's Jeremy Allen, and right there waiting in the wings we find Kevin King making his first start here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
There's about a line here of about 10 to 12 drivers, so if something happens up in front, they're not only going to lose one position in, they might very well fall back a handful of positions. It's Jeremy Allen, Kevin King, Brian Schoenberg, and a bunch of hungry drivers behind them looking to make something happen here early at New Hampshire and try to pick up that very, very pivotal track position.
Yeah, with 43 cars on the track, it's very crowded. These guys everybody doing a really good job, fighting really hard, staying out of trouble so far. But you're right, with the quality field that is here, you know, there's a number of cars that are very fast. If you get out of line, you know, it could be just like Talladega where you're going to lose a bunch of spots. But right now, Richard Towler looking underneath Brian Schoenberg, coming down the front straightaway. Towler fighting very hard down the bottom of the track.
Towler drops back in line in the 11th position. Schoenberg will keep 10th, at least for now, keeping the defending champion outside the top 10.
And he's looking to break in there. Patrick Fogel right behind Brad right there as well, about 3 car lengths off this battle. Richard Towler looking to bust into the top 10, but he's got to get past Brian Schoenberg, getting up to Brian's rear bumper and passing him. 2 different ball games.
Everybody's sorting out right now. A couple car lengths between each car. Everybody trying to just put in laps right now, working lap number 24 of 150. And now, at this point, they're really starting to get into the run, and their tires are starting to wear, and the setups that they've worked on all week long the last couple weeks are really starting to come into play. As Towler again works down to the inside of Schoenberg, he's not going to be able to have the momentum coming off corner number 4 right now. But these guys working on their setups all week long, come down to this, and now is when the time they're going to see the fruitions of their work and if their car is going to work on a long run or not.
Towler once again down to the inside of Schoenberg. This time makes the pass stick on entry. Towler slides up in front of Brian Schoenberg. Schoe will try to get back down to the inside. Not going to happen. Richard Towler up to the top 10. Schoenberg now outside looking in.
Vogel's got a fantastic seat for this as they close in on Kevin King in the number 29. King is not going to let Richard Towler pass easy, I'm sure, as Richard Towler begins to close in on the number 29, and also the 0-2 in front of them, named Jeremy Allen.
Yeah, Towler's going to have to, he had to work really hard to get by Schoenberg, and it still looks like he's doing pretty good. He used up a lot of tire down the inside, and a lot of tire trying to make up those positions, but Towler's still very strong. I'll look at King next time, though. If he can work his way up through the field here, he can definitely challenge later in this race.
Interesting situation here with the battle for 9th position. Kevin King and Richard Towler, the first ever NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Champion, going against what I believe to be a future world champion as well. I believe Kevin King has all the tools to be a future world champion in this series.
I believe you're right, Daryl. He's proven in many races before. He's proven by getting into the Pro Series, Nim, that he is one of the best on this iRacing sanction. And right now, Kevin King is proving it, that it wasn't any fluke. He's up here in the top 10 battling with the best of the best.
Yeah, but his lap number 28, he's got his 28th lap in. Definitely one of the series premier drivers on the circuit, but there are a lot of other drivers on the track that want to take claim to those titles also, so he's got a lot of work to do before he gets there.
Some of those drivers that he's got to contend with, and if he hopes to become a champion down the road, guys like Derek Wood, guys like Brad Davies, guys like Josh Berry, Josh Parker for that matter. All of those drivers, by the way, currently ahead of Kevin King on the racetrack.
Indeed they are, as Steve Sheehan continues to lead this race. It's about 1.5 seconds back to Derek Wood, Josh Berry, Brad Davies. They've established themselves out in front, as has Daniel Pope. And then the battles start to happen. Parker trying to hold off Hazard, and then the fantastic battle we've been watching, Kevin King, Richard Towler, and the rest of this field.
Sheehan soon is going to start coming up on lap traffic here, just not too far ahead of him. Sheehan will have Josh Connors, Dana Weimer, and Gene Costa up there to deal with. So this long green flag run, lap number 31 right now, these guys are just going to start getting into lap traffic here, and that could change the pace of this race.
Richard Towler looking down to the inside of Kevin King. Towler continuing to be the driver on the move. He'll drop back in line behind Kevin King, but Richard Towler not one to be denied. Once again, down to the inside of King. King on the outside, and I think right now Kevin King knows who's challenging him. Not going to give up the spot easily, but he's out there trying to, earn some respect, as they say.
Yeah, he's trying to gain the respect of the rest of these drivers out here now. Daryl just trying to get up here and race in the top 10, and now he's going to lose one more spot to Brian Schoenberg. But Kevin King knows, like everybody else does in him, you cannot win this race on lap number 32 or lap 33. This is a 150-lap race. Oh, you can't win it, but you can certainly lose it. Schoenberg, what a save by the 55.
Yeah, Schoenberg trying hard. He's used up a lot of rubber on that car going in corner number 1 right there, trying to get that spot. But King back down to the inside. Schoenberg now has the preferred line up top. The top side seems to be the preferred line right now, and Schoenberg will use that momentum to get the spot coming off corner number 4.
Brian Schoenberg working the wheel as you ride off the rear decklet of the number 55, looking back to the rest of this field. Big slide for Kevin King. He gets it gathered up. Nice save for the California kid.
And now he'll try to reset and get up here to Schoenberg, but he's got the 51 hot on his heels right now. Patrick Fogel looking to take away 11th place right now as he looks over the 29 at Kevin King. We have 34 laps completed.
Steve Sheehan has caught the lap traffic. Car number 15, first car ahead of him, that's Josh Connors. He's going to have to try to figure out work his way by there. Josh doesn't want to lose this lap right now. If he can stay out in front and the caution comes out, he'll be able to go all the way back around the track and stay on the lead lap. But right now the leader does not want, or the lap cars do not want to let the leader by, and the leader is going to have to work hard to get around them.
Your race leader, Steve Sheehan, in some heavy traffic. He'll work around the 15 car. Steve Sheehan works down to the inside, and this is going to allow Derek Wood to track him down at least a little bit.
Derek Wood picked up 0.3 of a second that last time, as Sheehan worked his way around lap traffic. Wood in second place, now 0.9 of a second behind the leader, but now Wood will have to work his way around the same lap traffic. So these guys will fight hard. We'll see which guy can do the best job in lap traffic here.
Traditionally, it's easier for the second place driver to work his way through lap traffic because they've already gone a lap down. They'll fight the leader just a little bit harder than they will normally the second place driver, just in order to stay on that lead lap. However, it seems like each driver kind of giving an equal shot to both Derek Wood and Steve Sheehan, kind of equaling out that gap. Derek Wood still able to gain just a little bit of time as Steve Sheehan finds himself in very heavy traffic. You ride off the roof of Derek Wood.
Wood almost got into the back of the 20, and Wood gets into the wall a little bit. The 27 car, I believe, let off the gas a little bit early to let Wood by. That was Dana Weimer, and I don't think Wood expected that, and that got Wood in trouble a little bit. And that's one thing these drivers do sometimes, is if you get into the corner, you know, you can't make an abrupt move that's going to give the leader or somebody else, you know, a chance to pass. If you make an abrupt move, you know, they're setting you up to make a normal move, and if you hit the brakes early or something like that, then, you know, you've set them out, and that position right there, that move right there, did catch out Derek Wood, and Wood got up in the fence and possibly damaged his car.
This is going to benefit Josh Berry just a little bit, as Berry will be able to track down Derek Wood at least a little here, as Berry tries to work his way through traffic, as Steve Sheehan has caught himself even more traffic. And every one of these drivers, Steve Sheehan puts a lap down as a driver that Steve Sheehan does not have to worry about beating him. There is no lucky dog here in this series.
Nope, and you know, that's part of the race. That's why we're racing 150 laps, because in that period of lap 1 to 149, you know, you want to put as many of these guys a lap down as you can, and you want to keep yourself in a position to race for the win. And right now, you know, Sheehan's job is to put as many of these guys a lap down as he can to give him the best opportunity to race here at the end. If you're new to watching PSR TV or iRacing.com, the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship, what you're watching here is all these drivers are racing from the comforts of their own homes. They're racing from their own PCs. They have steering wheel setups right at their desk, or they have pods, and they are racing each other from the comforts of their own house. And each driver is located at their house, wherever that may be in this world. And as you see right now, Steve Sheehan is racing drivers from all around the country right now, and they're doing it on the same track using the iRacing.com service, and racing fender to fender with drivers from all over the world.
Speaking of fender to fender, they were fender to fender just in front of your race leader. They got that situation straightened out, as the lap traffic getting very thick in front of Steve Sheehan, and when they're battling for position and the leader comes up, the drivers in that situation did the I don't know how to describe it. I guess you'd say the nice thing to do, I suppose, and kind of put their battle for position on hold, let the leader go by, and said, we'll continue our battle for position once the leader gets by. Let's not hold these leaders up, though.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, for the most part, of continuing their battle. And as Derek's is having a lot of trouble in lap traffic. He gets up and puts a little wheel mark on the side of the 34 car right there. He's wanting to get by, but it looks like the leader right now, Sheehan, doing a little bit better job getting through traffic than Derek is right now.
Sheehan down to the inside of the 77 as he continues to close in on more and more lap traffic, and the traffic gets heavier and heavier as Steve Sheehan continues to make circuits. Just joining us, we are working lap number 46, 45 laps in the books, and up until this point, that flag that we don't like to talk about has yet to fly.
Steve Sheehan working his way through a lot of heavy traffic right now. The 14 car right in front of him, that is, let's see who that is. That is Matthew Moose. He scrapes the wall a little bit, gets a little bit of that Matthew Moose paint on the right side of the wall right there, but Sheehan gets by him. Matthew Moose currently in the, let's see, Matthew running in the 35th position right now, so that's 7 cars lapped down right now, and Sheehan looking to work many more cars lapped down. We have our first caution out on the track right now as 2 drivers around.
Davies around, involved in this one. Trombley involved in it as well, as Brad Davies trying to work his way through some traffic, and it looked like he and the 72 were working through this deal, and he and the 34 got into it, and the 34 went around. Davies got into the 34 just a little bit, and around went the 34. Tough break for Justin Trombley, and Trombley has retired from this event.
Yeah, I think it was one of those deals, you know, where Josh Berry was down the inside of Trombley, and, you know, Trombley was going to let him go, and Davies didn't anticipate that move. Davies got in really hard, trying to stay with Josh Berry right there, and he got into Trombley up on the outside. You know, it's just one of those deals that it's really difficult to let off, and, you know, guys farther back. Maybe he should have anticipated that a little bit more, but certainly neither one of them tried to happen, and Tremblay got the worst end of that deal, that's for sure.
Pit stops taking place. Here comes Steve Sheehan down pit road, and he will lead the entire field. Those that are eligible down onto pit road here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The Magic Mile has been magical thus far for Steve Sheehan. He'll lead the field down onto pit road, and we'll see if that black magic strikes her head as Steve Sheehan, or shows her face as Steve Sheehan perfectly into his stall. Looks like at least 2 tires for Steve Sheehan, possibly all 4 for Sheehan. 4 tire stop for Steve Sheehan. The crew gets all 4 off, all 4 on, down and away. Steve Sheehan leads the field off from pit road.
Yep, Sheehan will get off first, and Derek Wood will be second. And I believe Josh Berry will come off. Yeah, Josh Berry will come off third, followed by Brad Davies.
We're going to take this opportunity and we will step away for a brief moment. We'll come right back. We'll get you back to Green Flag Racing. Don't you dare go anywhere. You're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship right here on PSR TV.
iRacing.com.
Green flag has just flown. Welcome back here on PSR TV. Steve Sheehan is your race leader. Derek Wood sits in second spot. Josh Berry is third. Fourth is Brad Davies. Fifth is Daniel Pope the second as they head down the backstretch here at the Magic Mile.
Looking back here,
we have
position
trouble
number
for number 3. Thomas Hazard is around up in the wall in corner number 3. That is your points leader up in the wall in corner number 3. It looks like maybe Tyler got in the back of Schoenberg just a little bit, and Hazard then got in the back of Tyler, just a chain reaction deal, which put Hazard up into the fence, and then he's sitting there, and he got nailed by a couple of cars on that left side. It's not good for your point leader.
Henyon got a big piece of the number 9 of Thomas Hazard, and you've got to wonder how bad that damage is for Thomas Hazard. This could be one of those nights that Thomas Hazard might want to put in the back of his memory banks and just try to forget about.
And Daryl, we keep talking about drop weeks in this series, and Nim, this might be one of those races that Thomas Hazard has to put behind him and focus on 2 weeks' time. Even though he's still on the racetrack, he might be able to salvage something out of this.
Yeah, let's see if the pit crew has to work hard and see if he can't get that car back in shape. But it's bent up on the left side pretty hard, bent up in the rear pretty hard, and there's probably a lot of damage that needs to be fixed on that car. So we'll see how long he has to spend here on pit road, but see if he can't continue and salvage whatever he can. But you got those 2 drop weeks, and everybody's going to have a bad race now and then. Thomas Hazard seems to be having his bad race here tonight at Loudon.
So into our second yellow flag here, working lap now, number 55. Steve Sheehan continues to lead. He has done so for every green flag lap. Brian Blackford led 1 lap under that first yellow flag run as the 33 stayed out. Now the number 9, 1 lap down, and this is going to be a rough night for your points leader, Tim.
Indeed it will be, and it's one of those things that we've seen out of these drivers before, Nim, where they just have to put the blinders on next week and forget about what's happening here. More than likely, Hazard might have to use this week as a drop week, but I guess we'll see in the next few laps here. We're about 1/3 distance in this race, just past that point, 55 laps into this race.
Well, this is one of the tougher tracks, and usually, we had a great green flag run there, but usually this track does bring a lot of yellow flags, and if we get a lot of yellow flags from here, it's possible that Hazard works his way back onto the lead lap, depending on, how cautions fall and how he can get his wave arounds. But, it's possible he gets back into contention here. Maybe a lot more attrition starts happening, and we'll see what he can salvage from this. But it's yet to be told, and we'll see how it works out.
So the pace lights go out. We'll go green next time by. The lights out on the Ford Mustang pace car. And your race leader continues to be Steve Sheehan, who is chasing history here tonight at the Magic Mile. Steve Sheehan trying to become the first driver in the series history to win 3 consecutive races, Tim.
And Darrell, when he came in this evening, he set his sights on a top 5. He said, I could win this race, but I'd love to have a top 5 finish just to get me up in the top 10 in points. I think he has a shot at a win here. Pace car is going to pull off. Green flag is going to fly, and Sheehan puts the hammer down.
Derek Wood challenging up on the outside lane as we start lap number 57. Only 1 car out of the race right now. Derek Wood has the preferred crew up on the outside, as we've seen many drivers tonight work that outside line and keep the momentum going down the straightaways and able to pull off that pass. But Sheehan looks very strong down low.
Sheehan on the inside line, Wood way to the outside through turns 3 and 4, and Wood will drop in line in second spot. It's going to be Sheehan, Wood, Barry, Parker, and then we find the number 11 of Brad Davies.
And right behind them, a battle starting to form as the 0-2 with Jeremy Allen, and the 29 made contact. Kevin King saves that race car, Nim. I don't know how he did it, but he's going to lose a bunch of spots here.
Oh, it is a good save, and you could see that one coming from a long way away, as everybody saw that coming, as Jeremy Allen got in maybe a little bit too deep down there low, and maybe King didn't see him coming, but that's what the good drivers call Doherty. We got a lot of smoke coming off point number 4, and the 35 cars around.
85 around, several drivers involved in it. King was involved in it, as were a few other drivers also involved in that one, and the 29 tracking a little bit sideways. The 20 heavy contact with the inside wall. The 3 was involved in that one as well, and that's a tough turn of events for those drivers involved in this most recent incident here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that's a dangerous spot coming off of turn number 4 right there.
Indeed it is, and when we look at the replay, you'll see the 85 and 16 of Thomas Lewandowski get into it, and then when everything happens here in him, and I've mentioned it before in the show, it happens in a hurry, and indeed it happened here in a hurry, and it took away a bunch of good race cars from us.
Yeah, that's a kind of, you know, Jordan Erickson was up on the outside, and he got in a little bit too hot in the corner. He tried to come down and got to get a big run down the straightaway, and Lewandowski saw that. He wanted that position, was entitled to that inside position there, and they came together. But you're right, it took a lot of cars. A lot of guys going to be trying to fight their way back into this one now as they try to get back in this race. But a lot of guys will be working hard on pit road to try to salvage what they can out from this. If you like what you're seeing here and want to take part, head on over to iRacing.com, and you can try us out for 1 month by 1 month and get 2 free. So for the price of $12, you can drive on iRacing for 3 months. And there is a lot of NASCAR racing action happening this week here at iRacing. The NASCAR iRacing Class A Series is at Daytona this week. The B Series with the new tire model is racing at Texas this week. The C Series, the Truck Series, is at New Hampshire. The NASCAR iRacing Tour Modifieds are at Phoenix. The NASCAR iRacing Weekly Modifieds are at New Hampshire this week. And the NASCAR iRacing Late Model Series is at Martinsville. And other racing action too. If you like road racing, we have actually the iRacing iZod IndyCar Series this week is at New Hampshire. So, you know, if you like the iZod IndyCars, you can race them here at New Hampshire this week. The Grand Am iRacing.com Sports Car Series is at Mazda Laguna Seca. The iRacing Grand Prix Series is at Barber Motorsports Park this week. The iRacing Grand Touring Cup, the Miatas and the Jettas are racing at Mossport this week. The NVIDIA Cup Series is at Okayama. And that's for all the Rookie Road Racing Series drivers. The Skip Barber Racing Series is at Road America. The Star Mazda Championship Series is at Mossport. The Thrustmaster Mustang Challenge Series is at Sebring. And the In Racing News Challenge cars are at Jefferson Circuit, located at Summit Point Raceway.
We're getting set to go back to green flag conditions. Mustang will make its way off the racetrack, and now we're left with nothing but Impalas. Big, mean, fast Impalas. Green flag flies. We are back underway.
Side by side in front of the field, 54 going to have the advantage into one. Sheehan fighting back on the inside. Meanwhile, just behind them, here comes the 81 of Josh Parker.
While all this is going on, your point leader, Thomas Hazard, is on pit road and not on the track right now, so losing all kinds of time on pit road is Thomas Hazard. Is Derek Wood very sideways up in corner number 3, and Sheehan trying to get by.
They were 3 wide momentarily, the 0-2, the 2, and the 0-8. That will be Richard Towler, Jeremy Allen, and Ray Alfala, not exactly in that order. Allen in the 0-2, Alfala in the 2, and Richard Towler in the 0-8. They were 3 wide momentarily here at New Hampshire.
Yellow flag is out on the speedway, and the 2 sporting the new colors here this week, Nim. Pro Geek Consulting. I believe that's the second week for those colors, so Ray Alfala trying to bring those guys to the front of this field.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Moose was involved with Justin Lowry coming off corner number 2 here. Moose got a little piece of the wall, but that doesn't look too bad.
We're going to go ahead and step away for a quick moment, take a break. When we come back, we'll get you back to Green Flag Racing. Don't you dare go away. You're watching round number 11 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship right here on PSR TV.
iRacing.com is the premier online racing simulation featuring head-to-head competition on your PC. Race from your home PC, competing on the world's best real-world cars and tracks. Thousands of race fans and scores of pro racers like Dale Jr. and Justin Wilson are already racing at iRacing. Experience the thrill of victory yourself and go racing today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here on PSR TV. Pace lights have just gone out. We are getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing. Derek Wood is your race leader. Steve Sheehan sits in second spot. Josh Parker is third. Fourth is Josh Berry. Fifth is Brad Davies, followed by Brian Schoenberg, Daniel Pope the second, RT Richard Towler, Jeremy Allen, and Ray Alfala, your top 10.
Just outside the top 10 sits Patrick Fogel in 11th, Brad Wright, Thomas Lewandowski, Josh Lawton, Theo Olson, Chris Main, Byron Daly, Jason Anderson, Nolan Scott, and Brian Blackburn.
Vinny Sansone 21st, 22nd Tyler Hudson, Chad Coleman 23rd, 24th is Greg Spears, and rounding out your top 25 is John Prather.
Here we go. Green flag flies. We are back underway. Wood and Sheehan side by side. Wood and Sheehan side by side as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Wood on the inside, Sheehan on the outside. The battle for the lead down the backstretch. Sheehan on the outside, Wood on the inside. Looks like an instant replay of the battle we had last time. The Tax Slayer machine on the outside. The inside is the Whiskey River number 54 of Derek Wood. Sheehan battling back hard on the outside. Sheehan will lead it.
Fantastic run off corner number 4 for Sheehan. Here comes Wood back on the inside. Going to brush up the racetrack. The 6 going to have the advantage and going to take the advantage off corner number 2. New leader number 6, Steve Sheehan. Top 4 single file.
Yeah, but they're battling back right behind us too. The Brad Davies and Brian Schoenberg just got together a little bit. Schoenberg losing a bunch of spots. Again, Schoenberg gets scored by the 18 car as the 18 car comes through 3 and 4. That's Daniel Pope the second. Gets into him just a little bit, but it looks like Schoenberg losing a bunch of spots as Towler and a number of other drivers get past.
We understand the video down, at least temporarily. We'll do our best to get that video back up. We do still have audio connection, and we will try to keep you up to date with what's going on. Steve Sheehan is your race leader. Derek Wood sits in second spot. Josh Berry is third. Josh Parker is fourth. Fifth is Brad Davies. We'll have video back up in just about 1 minute.
Closest battle on this race looks to be the 48-55.
Yeah, everybody's single file right now. Steve Sheehan is your leader. He's got about a 0.3 of a second lead over Derek Wood. Then it's about 0.3 of a second back to Josh Berry. And everybody maintaining the same type of gap right now. You can't see it. We'll try to describe it to you. From first all the way back to about 15th position right now. Everybody running single file with about 2 or 3 car lengths gap between them.
Welcome back, video-wise at least that is, and deeper in the field, we've got some drivers getting a little out of shape as we've got some great racing action taking place a little bit deeper in the field. Steve Sheehan is your race leader, but looking deep in the field, we find Thomas Lewandowski in 12th position. A little bit further back from him, we find Tyler Hudson, the 01, all the way back in 19th. And just ahead of him, they are getting ready to go side by side. Joshua Lawton, the number 40, about to have his hands full with Nolan Scott.
Yeah, a lot of these guys
looks down
and a lot of these guys, they're all getting side by side. They need to pick up positions. This next time by, Nim, we're halfway.
Yep, halfway this next time by, as now the 01 of Hudson looks underneath the 38 of Chris Main going in corner number 3. Everybody trying to get sorted out now. We had a number of cautions there that bent up a lot of drivers in the last few incidents after a long green flag run early. So maybe these guys getting sorted back out, trying to get another long green flag run in before the end of this race. Your point leader, Thomas Hazard, we documented earlier, was on pit road while green flag race was going on. He's not doing too bad considering right now. He's only 1 lap down, and he is currently running in the 37th position. But I think keeping a car only 1 lap down right now is a pretty good win for this guy. So we'll see if he can gain some positions.
You ride on the roof of Jeremy Allen as he tries to work his way by the number 7 of Theo Olson. Olson doing everything he can to keep Jeremy Allen behind him and work his way towards the number 16 of Thomas Lewandowski, who has gapped these two drivers just a little bit. The Alpine Stars number 7 of Theo Olson slides up the racetrack. Allen into the number 7 just a little bit, and Allen into the 7 again.
What a save by those two drivers, as it's going to open the door for Nolan Scott, and it's going to open the door for the guys on the inside of them. Nim, I think we've seen this story play out before, though, haven't we?
Yeah, it looked to me like Theo coming off corner number 2 right there. After the tap, Theo maybe retaliating a little bit, slammed his brakes a little bit coming off the corner, and that's why Allen got into him a second time there. Theo's showing him he wasn't happy with that move, you know, just racing going in there through 3 and 4, and then Theo slamming on the brakes coming off the corner.
Hudson just smacked the wall a little bit. I believe that was Hudson. That looked like Tyler Hudson may have just popped the outside wall on the way out of turn number 4. Looked like it was decent to significant contact with the outside wall for the 01 of Tyler Hudson, Tim.
And that might very well hurt him. It's just in front of them a little bit. It looks like, oh, contact made 91 of Byron Daly trying to save that race car, and he does. Oh, boy, another accident, another caution flag avoided there, Nim.
That was a great save by Byron Daly, running in the 18th position the last time by. Looked like Chris got into him just a little bit. Not sure how he got sideways there, but he did an excellent job saving it in the 3.
Jeremy Allen is on the hunt, looking to find a way around that number 7 of Theo Olsen. These two drivers have had issues in the past, and they've had issues earlier on in this race, and something tells me it's going to come to a head. Looking out the rear bumper of the number 7, you can see that 02 just get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is not good if you're a fan of the number 7 of Theo Olsen. Jeremy Allen's coming on strong.
And the bump is made, and the 7 trying to save that race car. He does. Fantastic save. Now here comes the 7. This isn't going to end pretty, boys. 02 comes back, and the 02 is going to be back behind the 7 and lose more positions than he probably bargained for.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, though. It looks like to me maybe the 7 car is being a little bit aggressive here, as he may have, even let off a little bit going in that corner number 3, and then again. Going out of 4, the 7 going after him again. I think the 7 car might be a little bit upset here.
This could be a huge pileup for the drivers behind them, and they need to tiptoe their way around them if they're going to work their way past either the 02 or the 7. Allen and Olsen, I'm telling you right now, Tim, it looks to me that they are going to put at least 2 cars into the outside fence here, and if the drivers behind them aren't careful, they're going to get scooped up in the mix.
And we have a stacked field behind them. We talk about Chad Coleman. John Gorlinski is back in 21st. Tyler Hudson, Byron Daly among those drivers that are just behind these two. Now, of course, Jeremy Allen will have to gain that time on Theo Olsen. Theo Olsen right now is gone by about 3 car lengths, but Allen wheeling that race car in them, you'd have to think he's just seeing red right now. He wants to get up to the 7, and then we could see some more sparks fly.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get there, and maybe Theo, just trying to figure out if Theo was letting off there early or not, and maybe not. So maybe Allen is just as fiery red right now as Theo is. So those guys having a big challenge out there on the racetrack right now, which could get a lot of other guys in trouble.
Again, the story we're following is the story between Theo Olsen, the number 7, and the 02 of Jeremy Allen. They've had a few bouts of contact in this race, and some from before. Those with longer memories might remember some bouts or some incidents between the 02 and the 7 in the past. Tyler Hudson trying to tiptoe his way through some traffic behind them, trying to find his way around Joshua Lawton.
And those are 2 teammates, Darrell Willman Incorporated, side by side, 01 on the inside, 40 on the outside, and Lawton slides that race car up, and he's going to let the 01 go. And then we mentioned the 7 and the 02. It started at Talladega, I do believe, as they were battling for the race win, and then it continued at Richmond, and now the sparks continue to fly here as Tyler Hudson inches ever so closer to this battle. Hudson's on the move, but I don't know if he wants to move past these 2 that are directly in front of him.
Well, you either get past them or get away from them by falling back, whatever you got to do, but you really got to watch these 2 as now they are together again, and we'll see Jeremy Allen clearly faster than Theo as he's caught him for the 3rd time now, but we'll see if they can race clean this time.
It is apparent the 02 is faster than the 7. That does not mean the 7 has to let him by. We'll see how difficult the 7 makes this pass. The 7 way down to the inside. Theo Olsen down to the inside is making it very clear to the 02. He's going to go to the outside. Probably not that high, though. Jeremy Allen way to the outside. He's going to lose at least 1 spot.
And he might lose 2. Here comes the 01 of Tyler Hudson. Hudson trying to gain the position. He's trying to get there on the 02. He's going to try to go up high. Nolan Scott is the meat in the sandwich right now. Nem, he is in between the 7 and the 02.
Yeah, we'll see how the 06 car races his way by, and maybe that'll help Allen out there a little bit. But yeah, these guys still not racing each other clean as we saw going in the 3 the last time by. So we'll see how it all plays out and see how it works.
The 06 will try to clear the number 7 of Theo Olsen. That'll once again put the 7 and the 02 in the same neighborhood on the racetrack, as now here comes Jeremy Allen. Allen, a former race winner in this series, all over the back bumper of Theo Olsen, and Allen once again to the way, way high side, and Allen almost finds the outside wall, loses several spots.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 right here for John Gorlinski. Gorlinski going to pick up number 6. Here comes Chad Coleman. Coleman's going to try to pick up 1, as is the 80 of Greg Spears. Sansoni is back there as well in the 80. So there's a lot of cars that Jeremy Allen now has to pass back in order to get to Olsen. And you know, Nim, this might be a good idea, because Jeremy Allen seeing red, it might be an idea just to sit back a little bit, breathe, and then regroup.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, right now, with all the hitting that was going on there and all the contact that was made, you know, he might have some problems with the front end of that car, and he might have lost some downforce. So it's either he's, you know, falling back, but if he was falling back, I don't know if he'd fall back so many positions, but it looks like, you know, Jeremy might have some car damage right now he's trying to work through.
Richard Towler just made a pass up into spot number 5, passing up Josh Parker. So put JP Josh Parker down 1 spot. RT Richard Towler up into the top 5.
And Richard Towler has a little ways to go now to catch your next driver on the list. And it's actually about 2 seconds between himself and Brad Davies. He's got some lap traffic there. I believe that might be Jason Anderson. Going to go 1 lap down to your 5th place driver, and Anderson's going to hit pit road.
Yep, your leader right now working a 1.3 second lead over Derek Wood. Derek has only 0.3 of a second back to Josh Berry, and then it's only 0.4 of a second back to Brad Davies. So the second, third, and 4th place cars are having a good battle for that 2nd spot right now. But Sheehan, out to a 1.3 second lead, has got this field covered right now.
You can see that gap between Steve Sheehan and Derek Wood, and that gap continues to sort of grow 1 lap and then shrink the next lap, and then grow the next lap and shrink the next lap. I think right now Steve Sheehan basically toying with the notion of, do I open this thing up? Do I try to stretch this lead out? Or do I just run right now and just click off laps? I think Steve Sheehan just trying to click off some laps.
And with 54 laps to go, that might be the good idea right now. We're not working 25 or less laps to go. It's not really go time right now. Steve Sheehan out in a league of his own right now, but that might change come about 25 to 30 laps from now as we work lap number 97. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th getting fairly close. Josh Berry trying to reel in the driver in front of him. That is Derek Wood, and Brad Davies waiting in the wings as well.
Theo Olsen made a pit stop. And I believe Jeremy Allen did also. I'm not sure if they had been black flagged or what was going on there, as Theo made a pit stop, and Theo also made some contact again with Hudson right before his pit stop. So Theo Olsen and Jeremy Allen come off the pit road.
So Steve Sheehan is your race leader. It's been reported that both Theo Olsen and Jeremy Allen have performed a stop and go, or at least a very, very quick pit stop without going ahead and taking tires, as Lewandowski, I believe that's Lewandowski, has just popped the outside wall. So we believe that to have been a stop and go for both drivers, perhaps for some over-aggressive driving.
And right now, Daryl, they're both on separate ends of the racetrack, so there really shouldn't be a whole lot of a problem, at least right now, between those 2 drivers. As we work lap number 100, we'll come by this time by, as it looks like Thomas Hazard is going 1 lap down.
Yeah, last time through corner number 1 and 2, Connor McKenzie got up in the fence there a little bit, so Connor right now running in the 36th 36th position, struggle in the night, gets up in the turn 1 wall, but able to keep it going.
"100 laps complete for Steve Sheehan, this time by 1:01 in the book. Steve Sheehan with just 49 laps left here in this one as we are clicking off the laps. Nice long green flag run for the drivers of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Round number 11 has been a barn burner, Tim.
Indeed it has, and we talked to Steve Sheehan 2 weeks ago after winning that race at Michigan. He said he thought he earned that win, unlike Pocono where he really won it on those last couple of restarts. So you'd have to think that Steve Sheehan right now out in front of this field, and Daryl, he is earning his keep out in front.
Steve Sheehan going for 3 in a row as Sheehan tries for his 3rd consecutive win. Derek Wood sits in 2nd spot, 1.4 seconds back from your race leader, and thus far the dominator here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Steve Sheehan. Josh Berry is 3rd, 4th is Brad Davies, 5th is Richard Towler, 6th belongs to Josh Parker, 7th is Ray Alfala, 8th is Daniel Pope II, 9th is Brian Schoenberg, and 10th is Brad Wright.
Looking back 11th through 20th, we see Patrick Fogel, Thomas Lewandowski, Nolan Scott, Tyler Hudson, Byron Daly after having to make a save early in this race, Josh Lawton, Chris Main, Brian Blackford, John Gorlinski, and Chad Coleman. And Daryl, Chad was battling flu-like symptoms earlier on today, and Chad already up to 20th. You have to give a call out to him.
Nice drive for Chad Coleman. 21st on back, we find Vinny Sansone, Greg Spears, Andrew Fayash III, John Prather, Chris Henyon, one of our pro drivers, Florian Goddard, Justin Lowry, Robert Hall, Matthew Moose, and Jean Costa.
Just going 1 lap down, Daryl, is Jordan Erickson in the number 85, Theo Olson, Jeremy Allen, Josh Connors, Dana Weimer, all 1 lap down. Hazard 3 back, McKenzie 6 back, Anderson 7 back, Gilbert 8 laps down, Kevin King, Jordan Hightower, Justin Trombley, they are all done from this race.
Pit stops taking place here, and Steve Sheehan almost caught the end of pit wall there, Tim.
He probably scared himself in that TaxSlayer.com Chevrolet Impala. He's going to come down to the attention of his crew, and these could very well be the money stops. I believe this will be the final time we'll see them down at least under green if this thing goes green the duration of this race. Steve Sheehan's crew going to take 2 right side tires.
Looks like it's going to be 4 tires. Tires all the way around for Sheehan, and he'll be down and away, lead the run out of pit road for those drivers that pitted on this pit stop, on this sequence of green flag pit stops. Derek Wood comes out behind him, followed by Josh Berry, and then I believe Josh Parker pitted with him as well.
Brad Davies at the other end of pit road. Daryl coming in, right side tires going on the Whiskey River Chevrolet Impala. At least 2 tires for him. See Byron Daly also coming on to pit road. It's going to be 4 tires for Brad Davies.
Towler is your race leader. Wood will blitz around the number 08, or try to blitz around the 08. New tires versus old tires. Here's the difference. This is why you want new tires. Look at him just power by the 08 of Towler.
And you'd have to think Richard Towler is thinking about coming down onto pit road very, very soon. But once he comes down, he'll have those new tires. He'll be able to keep up with these drivers. Is Brad Davies here? Here comes Brad Davies looking to pick up his lap.
The dangerous thing about these green flag stops and everybody being on cars right now is the fact that, and the car, it looks like the caution is out. This is what I was worried about. You had the different speeds, cautions out. Now a bunch of guys are going to get caught a lap down, and this is going to work out for Towler.
Well, you'll have several drivers that'll stay out, that won't come down pit road, that won't take the opportunity to make this pit stop. So you have several wave-around drivers. I don't think you'll see a lot of drivers get caught a lap down here, though. Do you, Tim?
I think the number 11 of Brad Davies is going to get caught one lap down, and it's just the matter of the split second when the caution flag came out, Nim. He was just battling with Richard Towler. When that caution flag came out, the lights came on, the sim triggered the yellow flag for that incident. The 11 wasn't on the lead lap. He might get the wave around here, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it sorts out. Towler and Parker and the guys head down pit road. This can be a confusing time as guys don't really know where they are, if they're at the tail end of the lead lap, or if they're trying to get the wave around here. So it can be very confusing, and gotta be on their game, even though they're on their caution flag right now. They really got to know where they're at to see if they want to make pit stops now or not, or stay out on the track and see what happens.
Richard Towler down away leads him out of pit road, and it looks like it's going to be, will it be Parker? It is Parker winning the race off from pit road. Towler comes out second. Schoenberg will come out of the pits third of those that pitted this time around. We're going to go ahead, take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll take it back to Green Flag Racing. Don't you dare go away. More to come. We'll take you all the way to the checkers next time we come back right here on PSR TV. Welcome back here for the restart at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and we are getting set to return to Green Flag Racing at the Magic Mile. And Tim, some speculation deep in the field, but we are getting set to go back to Green Flag Racing.
Pace car going to pull off right here. Here we go back to green. Derek Wood on the inside, Steve Sheehan on the outside, and what a restart by Derek Wood. Wood is already out. Sheehan going to get single file, as is Barry. Battle going to be for fourth. Here comes RT.
Yeah, Richard Towler down on the inside, looking to the inside of Josh Barry and Josh Parker as they come off corner number 2. Parker has the line going down the straightaway, but he's stuck up there beside of Barry, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room. Richard Towler working that inside, working his tires really hard, coming off corner number 4, down on the outside, still holding that position.
Towler on the inside, Parker on the outside. Let's go 3 wide. Oh, Towler gets into him around. Goes Richard Towler. Towler around in front of the field, gets absolutely clobbered by the 83.
And Chad not having a good night, and that's not going to help the Arnett Chevrolet Impala as he pulls off from the scene, and Richard Towler sitting on the racetrack trying to find a place to get turned around. He's going to find it right here, but that car heavily damaged.
Yeah, it just looked like a hard race down there on the inside. You know, if you get squeezed down there a little bit, you're so much on the edge, and your tires are so far to the slip angles that you just this little touch and you're going around, and that's what happened. They were just racing hard, and Tyler got hit around, but then Tyler got hit really hard. I think that's by the 83 car and by Chad Coleman, and that could have put a lot of damage on the Tyler car.
Heavy smoke from the number 83 of Chad Coleman. That's a tough break for Coleman, who had a decent run going and was set to have a solid performance here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. And Tim, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Although, on the plus side, if he was going to have some spaghetti, it looks like he'll have a meatball to go with it.
Indeed, the meatball flag should be coming out for Chad Coleman, and was looking for a solid top 20 finish in the Arnett GSRacing.net Chevrolet Impala, but he's going to pull down onto pit road along with a whole host of other drivers trying to get service on their race cars, and I believe Chad might very well be done for the evening.
Yeah, that was a heavy hit coming off of corner number 2 there. Out front, still Wood and Barry Parker and Schoenberg in the top 5. Schoenberg doing a pretty good job as he fell back there a little bit, working his way back up to the top 5, and Ray Alfala, who we haven't talked about all night, there in the 6th position. Tyler Hudson, Brad Wright always seems to be right there at the end. 3rd in points, Brad Wright, his rookie season in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Up into the 8th spot, Nolan's Joshua Lofton, also in it.
This race could have a somewhat decent impact on the point standings here. And Tim, as you're looking at the point rundown, a lot of our point contenders having solid nights, but some of our point contenders, not so much.
Well, let's just say this. The top is going to go to the bottom, as in Thomas Hazard, 36th right now on the racetrack, 3 laps back. He was 7 points up on Ray Alfala coming in. Alfala runs in position number 6, so more than likely Ray Alfala is going to come out of here with the points lead, unless something happens to Ray Alfala. If something happens to Ray Alfala, it opens the door for Brad Wright. Brad Wright only 30 points back of Hazard coming in, and Brad Wright runs in position number 8. Tyler Hudson having a solid night as well. He is up there in 7th between Alfala and Brad Wright, looking to pick up a few points here, as is Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg up in 5th place right now, so out of the top 5 in points, 4 of those drivers, Nim, run up in the top 10 right now, actually up in the top 8. Thomas Hazard having a bad night.
Yeah, I was looking through the points standings. You know, the Hazard is really the only guy in the top 10 having a really bad night. All the other guys up there are doing fairly well and going to some decent points. Or possibly, you know, losing. You know, he might probably only fall to 2nd or 3rd tonight, but you know, everybody else having a decent night, but there's still a long way to go. 30 laps to go, and we know with 30 laps to go and everybody's eyes so close on the finish here that this is when things are going to get mixed up a whole lot.
Speaking of mix-up, Theo Olson and Jeremy Allen will restart this one deep in the field, but nose to tail or side by side, depending on how things shake out. Either way, they will be once again right back in the same neighborhood. I'll keep an eye on that. Tim Terry, let's go back to green.
Let's see if Derek Wood can get a great restart like he did the last time. Sheehan on the outside. Oh boy, we're going to stack him up here. Derek Wood didn't go. Steve Sheehan did. I don't know how they got through that, but somehow they're side by side. Here comes Schoenberg on the inside.
Real tight in that last position there as Josh Parker gets into the back of Josh Sperry a little bit. Able to save it. Schoenberg down to the inside, show him in that 3rd position.
We have got ourselves a grouping back here in the deep in the field. 2 and 3 wide all the way through the middle of this field. Derek Wood and Steve Sheehan battling it out at the front of the field, side by side for the race lead up out of turn number 2.
Wood has the preferred groove up high. Sheehan has the shorter groove around the racetrack down low. Sheehan going to try to take the advantage. Oh, he's going to slide the race car around, and Josh Parker puts it in the wall.
Parker, heavy damage up the wall. He gets a couple more cars head on up on corner number 3 and 4, Josh Parker, and that will damper an end to his racing tonight.
Tough break for Josh Parker, and you hate to see that, but that's just kind of one of those deals that you wind up where you wind up, and unfortunately Josh Parker wound up tasting outside retaining wall, Tim.
It looks like Chris Henyon gets jacked up and into the wreck by Josh Lawton. I believe Daniel Pope is involved in this one. Josh Connors might be in this one as well. A lot of drivers in the back that are looking to have good runs involved in this one. And actually, it's the 66 that I did see back there getting involved in this one as well. So that's Justin Lowry. Drivers just trying to keep their cool, Nim, involved in this one here. Just shy or just under 30 laps to go.
Yeah, it looks like that Parker may have got in a little bit too close to Barry going in the corner. And these guys are set up so loose. And you know that means the back end of the cars are set up to turn, so they're really slippery. And if you get in and you have to hit your brakes, or you have to do something that's not normal with your setup, then it's in a whole lot of trouble. And that's what looks like happened here. As Parker got in and the back of he was just right on Barry's bumper just a little bit, and he tried to check and he overcorrected, and that got him up into the certainly nothing intentional going on there or anything like that. Just Parker made a little bit of mistake trying not to get in the Barry, racing hard as Parker always does, and got up into the fence in a hard one in turn 3.
No one will ever accuse Josh Parker of taking it easy, that's for darn sure. And unfortunately tonight, Josh Parker's efforts to get to the front will wind up in the outside retaining wall, and Parker will be done for the night. But more often than not, his efforts to get to the front usually pay off, and unfortunately here tonight, Tim, they do not, but they usually do. Josh Parker, one of the front runners, to say the least, here within this series and within the entire iRacing service.
And you want to talk about a driver not taking it easy, that's going to be the 55 of Brian Schoenberg, running in third. Fantastic restart the last time, and now with less than 25 laps to go, Brian Schoenberg is going to be in position number 3. This could be one of the best chances he has at winning one of these NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship races. He's come so close so many times here in him, but right now he runs in third with less than 25 laps to go at a racetrack he ran well at during the Class A races. This could pay off for Schoenberg.
Schoenberg's doing a great job, and he's doing doing best at is in traffic. He's taking advantage of other people's battles. He's making the right moves, and he's doing a really good job in traffic. Now, if they have a long green flag run, it hurts Schoenberg just a little bit because he's these other guys, Derek Wood and Steve Sheehan, have proven that they are a lot faster than these guys right now. As long as we have these short stints and Schoenberg and Sheehan are fighting really hard, Schoenberg's got an opportunity. You never know what's going to happen up front, and Schoenberg has put himself in a position to take advantage of whatever does happen.
Lights are out on the base car. We get set to return to green flag racing again. 25 laps to go. Here in this one, we'll have 24 laps remaining when the green flag drops. It's going to be Wood and Sheehan side by side on row number 1. Schoenberg and Barry for row number 2. That's a stout first 2 rows. And now, what the heck, why not? Let's throw Tyler Hudson and Ray Alfala in the mix as well.
And completing that top 10, you have Gorlinski, you have Scott, you have Wright, and you have Davies. Any one of those drivers, any of the drivers on the lead lap could very well end up winning this race. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to pull off to the infield. Here comes Derek Wood. Green flag flies, and another great start by the 54.
Derek Wood leaves as soon as the pace car leaves the track, which he is able to do. Sheehan has to fall in behind. That gets Wood up through right now, and then Schoenberg down on the end hard with Barry coming off corner number 2.
Brian Schoenberg, the show as we call him, works the inside line. Josh Berry on the outside, nose to tail with the number 6 of Steve Sheehan. Sheehan out from turn number 4, gaps himself between, or puts a gap between himself and the number 72 of Berry. Berry and Schoenberg still side by side here at New Hampshire.
And now the 72 of Schoenberg goes down the back straightaways. We have a caution flag to fly, so that will reset our lineup on lap 128.
Byron Daly in trouble in corner number 1. It looks like he got in and he got hit in the rear end going down in corner number 1 by the 96 car, and that sent 96 car Gene Costa got into him really hard and sent the 91 car into the fence and upside down there.
So Byron Daly gets a whole new look at the world, and that look was upside down momentarily. Byron Daly back on the wheels, and, well, gosh darn it, Tim, I don't think that car looks all that bad. He may be able to continue.
And it's been a tough break for the GS Racing drivers here this evening. Chad Coleman running the GS Racing sponsorship. Of course, he's done for the evening. Byron Daly still out in the racetrack. Jordan Hightower was done early as well, so I'm sure Scott's not having the night that he's wanted to at GS Racing, but Nim, one of his drivers still out in the racetrack, and a spectacular wreck at that with the number 91.
Yeah, Byron up in the 25th spot right now. Right now, this time by, 130 laps are down, 21 to go. So, you know, I think we're going to see a couple more cautions by the end here. These guys are fighting really hard. They see the end in sight here. So I believe that this is not going to be the last caution. What do you think, Daryl?
I think we'll see at least one more, and the smart money's on the 7 and the 0-2. I think that's where the smart money is, the 7 and the 0-2, as I think there's some unresolved issues still as of yet to be taken care of between those two drivers. We're going to go ahead, take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll do our best to take you to the checkers. That's if these drivers will let us. Don't you dare go anywhere. You're watching PSR TV. Welcome back here on PSR TV. Derek Wood is your race leader. We'll see when he decides to start this race. Pace car is off. Wood is on the hammer. We are back to green flag racing.
The 6 is Steve Sheehan now trying to hold off the 72 at Josh Berry Schoenberg. Way up the track. Here comes the 2. They might make it 3 wide.
Coming off of corner number 2, everybody getting super down the back straightaway. Alfala falls in position. Schoenberg looking to the inside of Berry as they go through 3 and 4. Down the inside, it's hard to make a pass down there. Schoenberg way down low, and the caution's out.
John Prather around number 45 Tax Slayers sponsored ride. John Prather around, tough turn of events for John Prather, and it looked as though he may have had just a wee bit of contact between himself and Patrick Fogel that sent that 45 around. The 51 and the 45 got together and just barely kept it out of the tire wall in the infield.
And we talk to these drivers week after week, and some of them say that this car is a beast. It's a handful, and it looks like the 45 may have got just a little bit loose off corner number 2, and Nim, it looked like it was just enough to send him down into the path of the number 51. He tried to catch it, but he didn't get to catch it in time until that 51 got into him.
Yeah, Tim, I think that's exactly what happened, and you know these guys are looking forward to iRacing 2.0 coming this August, where they're looking forward to the new tire model, and they're looking for physics on these cars. As you said, these cars are tough to handle, right? And iRacing has studied this, and over the last couple years, they have engineered, with Dave Cameron and his team, have engineered a new tire model and a more accurate physics engine for these cars. And everybody here in this series looking forward to it, coming hopefully soon in August. August 1st, or that also with iRacing 2.0, there are a couple new tracks. Iowa Speedway's coming, Suzuka International Race Course is coming, the Ford GT cars, and the LMP ARX 01C car coming to iRacing. So this August, iRacing 2.0.
Of course, we all got a preview of that new tire model with the new Class B nationwide style race car, and it's gotten rave reviews. And Tim, I'm one of the ones that has given it a rave review. I love the new tire model.
I'm right with you there, Daryl. The last Class B car, I didn't get a whole lot of time on that race car, but comparing those to the 2 cars, absolutely love the new tire model. I did get some practice at Daytona. Nim, I know you've probably driven some races at Daytona in the past couple of weeks here with that new nationwide car. It's a breath of fresh air into this sim.
And it's what the engineering team here at iRacing has done an outstanding job, and everybody in the service is very excited about the new tire model. And iRacing to get the new tire model outcome with iRacing 2.0 this August. So it's wonderful. It's great. And you're right. I ran the first race they had was a road race at Road America. I got 4th there. I finished 11th at Daytona, and it is a blast. It's wonderful to drive. Did a little bit of practice earlier this said the NASCAR iRacing.com Class C B Series is at Texas this week, and it's just spectacular. And all the cars will be as soon as they all get the new tire model, and much improved physics coming out in August.
Pace lights remain on, and one of the things we wanted to mention is the FOV calculator that iRacing has built in, and it's something that it took me a while to discover. I was just kind of cruising the forums, as I often do, and I don't get to race as much as I usually, or as much as I would like to, I should say, and I wasn't really happy with the way iRacing looked. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't look right to me. I felt like I was seeing too much of the inside of the car and not enough of the outside of the car. And from my perspective, it just didn't look right. Something was off about the way the car felt. So I went and in the options, in the video options, is an FOV calculator. You can measure your screen width, and it asks you for a bunch of different measurements and how far away you sit from the screen, and it will measure your field of view and what it recommends for your field of view. And I inputted all of my different numbers and how far away I sit from the screen, and it changed all of my field of view, and lo and behold, iRacing is a heck of a lot more fun for me. And not that it wasn't fun for me before, but it's even more fun for me now. So the field of view calculator, give it a try. You might like it. If you don't like it, before you go in there, just jot down your field of view before you put those numbers in. You can always go back and change it back to the defaults.
And as we still work under the caution flag here, Daryl, I know you mentioned something about you don't race very often, but I heard you're racing on Thursday night. I heard a rumor here. Is this true?
Well, if you can call what I do racing, yes. I'll be racing Thursday night in the GSR versus Verdane Challenge, and I don't know what team I'll be racing for, and they don't know what team I'll be racing for yet. I'll be one of the wild cards, much like yourself, Tim. Did you decide to race in that one, buddy?
I will definitely be racing in that one. I'll be one of the wild cards. I was invited to the GS Racing duel tomorrow night, so that's going to be fun. So you're going to get to see Daryl and me race, and I guess we're going to have to get an invite for Nim next time, because I don't know about you, Nim, but us broadcasters, me and Daryl, that we do a whole lot of broadcasting and not a lot of racing, we still need some pointers. Can you give us any pointers for Michigan in the late model?
Michigan in the late model, you hold it to the floor and you hang on. That's the best car.
I love the late models. I've always loved the late models. It's by far my favorite car, and it's one of the cars that I'm so looking forward to iRacing 2.0, having that new tire model on. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And the late models are a great car to begin with, and the new tire model in the late model is going to be awesome. And the late models at Michigan, oh, buddy, I can't wait. And the one thing I've discovered, and Tim, I'll share this with you. You already know this one, though, buddy. Getting way down to the inside, it might not be the best idea with those late models at Michigan. A little loose down there, buddy. A little loose.
I finished 6th place at Verdane Racing in their season opener at Michigan in the late model, and Nim, I drove it in firewall deep, and you know what? She didn't stick.
Okay, lights are out on the pace car. We'll get the green flag next time by. Right now, we're marking lap number 140. So we'll get flag with 10 laps to go.
The 10-lap dash is what this whole deal is going to come down to. 150 laps is going to come down to 10 laps at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Steve Sheehan trying to go 3 in a row. Derek Wood trying to break that streak. Josh Berry trying to go back-to-back here at New Hampshire.
And then you look on the outside of that next row, you have Brian Schoenberg out there who wants to win a race. You got Ray Alfala sitting in 5th, who wants to desperately take away this point lead. He's got it now, but I'm sure in him that he might be looking for maybe a top 3 finish, maybe even a win here.
Ray needs to, right now, just be careful and bring it home. You want to get that point lead. Remember, but points are worth $10,000. The race much.
Here we go, green flag. We are back underway. Derek Wood will lead him down into turns 1 and 2. Wood, your leader. Here comes Sheehan. They are side by side behind him.
Schoenberg trying to get the advantage. Meanwhile, here comes the 6th of Sheehan. He's got the nose of his Impala down low. Whiskey River up high. Tax Slayer down low. And Tax Slayer trying to get it in there. I don't think it's going to work here. He's going to try it, though, in the middle of 3 and 4.
I think Sheehan feels like he's got the best car in this race. He led the most laps early on. He wants to get that lead back. He lost it earlier under cautions or with green flag pit stop, and he feels like he's got the best car. He's got some trouble down there in corner number 2.
Looks like Blackford involved in this one may have had just a little bit of help, however, and Blackford was heading down into turn number 1, and Lewandowski just missed his braking point. It looked like, I don't know, drove into the back of the 33, and the 0-2 involved in that one, and heavily involved in that one, and innocent bystander for the 0-2 looked like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too, Daryl. It looks like the Thomas Lewandowski machine may have missed the breaking point, and you have to think we're 8 laps to go in this race. They're battling for 12th place. Lewandowski trying to get that position and tried just a little too hard, and Brian Blackford pays the price, and Blackford had such a great run going to that point. So the yellow flag will fly once again as we close in. We're going to have a restart here, Nim, close to the finish of this one, and I think we're getting ready to see the sparks fly and the virtual fists begin to fly after this one, because I think some of these guys will be going for every point in every position they can.
Yeah, the next restart will probably be our last, and these guys will be looking to gain those positions. So, you know, there'll be one more fight to the end here to see who gets what. But a lot of cars damaged in that last one, and that's the second time tonight that somebody's going off front of that yellow and number 16 to have a big accident.
One of the cars dog tracking is that of Andrew Fayash III. Andrew, I believe we do have boots of car communications with Andrew. Andrew, this is Daryl with the PSR TV crew. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy, bud.
Andrew, not the night you were hoping for. You had a nice solid run going on, but it looks like that car a little bit worse for wear, man.
Yeah, we were in a good spot. I can't believe how many close calls I've had. I mean, I'm starting to run out of fingers to count them on, but that one right there just won the close call. I missed the wreck initially. They started wrecking some more in front of me, and I just lifted off the gas. I wasn't even touching the brake, and somebody hooked me in the right rear, and it just destroyed the thing.
Are you getting the meatball flag? You got to come down here?
Oh yeah, 10-4. I gotta pit it and see if I get to go back out or not.
We're going to let Andrew come into his pit stall, and we'll see if they'll repair it. Andrew, any words so far? Looks like they're changing tires. That's usually a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it says it's got about a minute of repairs before it'll let me go, so I'll be sitting here for a while. So ruined a good day, but hey, we got what we got. You know, you can't complain about surviving, I guess.
Well, survival often the key. Andrew, before we let you go and sit and kind of just collect your thoughts with your about a minute worth of repairs, let's hear about friends, teammates, sponsors. Who helps make it happen for you, buddy?
Oh, I don't know how official we are yet for the team, so I'll save that for later. But I'd like to thank the sponsor iRacing today, though. I got to get on him about updating the site. I think he kind of gave up on that last project. I don't know what happened there, but hey, you know, he's got a lot going on with his life, so I'm sure he's busy too, just like everybody here.
That's Andrew Fayash III. And Andrew, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Lights are out, buddy. We're getting set to go back to green.
All right, thanks.
So, Tim, obviously, Andrew, not tickled pink, but he's got a lot of positives that he can take away from tonight's racing events. Not the way he wanted this thing to come down to a finish, but again, a lot of positives he can take away from this.
And speaking about finish, Daryl, this is going to be it. We are going to come by this time and have 4 laps to go when they see the green flag. And Nim, I believe if Derek Wood can get that fantastic start on the inside, it's going to open the door for the 55. 6 might be along for the ride. He's got to time this restart perfect, though.
Derek's been doing a great job on the restarts here. 6 hasn't had anything for him. 6 has got to be careful. He can't go until Derek goes, and Derek's been going when the green flag, and there it goes. Derek Wood gets a good jump on the 6, as does Schoenberg on the 72.
Derek Wood on the hammer the second. He has the opportunity, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Gets the good start, and look at Schoenberg. Down to the inside of the 72, Schoenberg and Berry. Side by side, big wiggle for Schoenberg out of turn number 2. Josh Berry on the high side. Berry could take away third.
And Ray Alvala wants a piece of Brian Schoenberg as well. Meanwhile, Sheehan, stalking your leader, the number 6, wants this lead away from the number 54 of Derek Wood. We come by this time and have 3 to go.
3 to go this time by, and Wood looks to have everything in control, but now Sheehan looks to make a move down the inside. He gets a good run down off of corner number 2 and down that back straightaway. Derek Wood has a 1-car length advantage over Sheehan as Sheehan looks to the inside.
Looks like the yellow flag has flown, and that will end the attempt for the number 6 of Steve Sheehan to go 3 in a row. Derek Wood will take the yellow, and just a couple laps from now, the checkers, provided that machine continues to roll in the proper direction. Derek Wood will take home the win.
And Daryl, this incident is for the 27 in the 02. The 27 of Dana Weimer comes up the racetrack into the 02 of Jeremy Allen. Allen keeps going. Theo Olsen does not. I believe actually Theo Olsen does get going. Hard hit for the number 27 though. Into the wall. Oh, hard hit for Jean Costa in the 96 as well. That's definitely going to end the night of the 27 of Dana Weimer as he pulls it into the paddock area. He is done.
It's kind of weird. You got the guys in the back there having an accident while everybody up front's fighting for the win, and the guys in the back pull that caution flag. But Derek Wood definitely earned this one tonight over Steve Sheehan.
So it looks like Derek Wood will take home the win in this 150-lap affair here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and Steve Sheehan will be left to wonder what if.
And that's just it, Daryl. Very, very great race for Steve Sheehan. Just those last couple of restarts, Derek Wood, at least on the Hopnim, was just that much better. And Steve didn't have the time with the short runs that we had to recuperate and really mount a charge. If he would have had these extra 3 laps under green or 2.5 laps under green, I believe Steve might have had something for him. But that's just it. We didn't see it.
Yep, Steve Sheehan was definitely fast early on a long run. And Derek did a great job on that green flag pit stop area where he got the lead and was able to hold on to it after that because of the short runs. Derek did a good job, and that winning pass came on those pit stops.
So the final trip around the racetrack for Derek Wood will be held under caution flag conditions, and it'll take place at just about 50 to 60 miles per hour here, give or take 1 or 2 miles an hour. And Derek Wood will take home the race win in about a half a lap. Wood, your winner. And it looks like it's going to be Sheehan, Barry, Alfala, Schoenberg, Gorlinski, Davies, Wright, Hudson, and Scott. Your top 10. Nice run for Nolan Scott. Give a shout to the 06.
Indeed, you're right. Patrick Fogel in 11th, Chris Main, Lewandowski, Greg Spears, 14th, fantastic run. Florian Goddard in 15th, fantastic run for him, as is Robert Hall. John Prather coming back from a spin to 17th. Josh Lawton, Vinnie Sansoni, and Josh Connors, top 20.
Matthew Moose brings it home in 21st, 22nd, Jeremy Allen. Gene Costa, 23rd, Brian Black, 24th. Chris Haney 21st race. Theo Olsen, 26th. Byron Daly, 27th. 28th, Andrew Fayette III, who we just heard from in his in-car. 29th, Justin Lowry. Thomas Hazard, your point leader, brings it home in the 30th position tonight.
31st goes to Dana Weimer. 32nd is Jordan Erickson. 33rd is Daniel Pope. The 2nd, 34th is Stephen Gilbert, followed by Kevin King in 35th. Richard Towler, RT, is 36th. 37th is Josh Parker. 38th is the 83 of Chad Coleman. Then it's Jason Anderson, Connor McKenzie, Jordan Hightower, Justin Trombley, and Darren Stevens. That's your lineup, as Stevens didn't make the start to this one. Derek Wood will log win number 1 for the 2011 campaign, and he'll do it here at the Magic Mile. Wood will try to get that car to spin. Come on, there's a wall there, Derek. Back it up. Keep trying, buddy. Derek Wood, your winner here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And I had a monitor fail there because I was about 10 seconds behind the rest of the world. But that's all right because we're having fun. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll get to your top 3 and maybe just a little more. Don't you dare go away. You're watching PSR TV. Some of us are ahead of time. Some of us, like me, a little bit behind. Welcome back here on PSR TV. Once again, your top 10. Derek Wood takes home the win. Steve Sheehan takes home second. Third goes to Josh Berry. Third to Ray Alfala. Fourth to Ray Alfala, I apologize. And fifth to Brian Schoenberg. We'll pitch it down to Tim Terry, who is caught up with Derek Wood. Tim?
Down here in Victory Lane with Derek Wood, and Derek, first win of the season. And we had a couple of restarts at the end of that one. Walk us through a night at New Hampshire.
Yeah, that was a little crazy on those last few restarts. First, I got to say I had a blast racing Josh Berry, Steve Sheehan, Brad Davies tonight. That long green run was a lot of fun, and it was really tight racing between me and Josh, and so that was really cool. And we came out perfectly together on the green flag stop, so there was no drop off in the intensity. But yeah, those last restarts. First, I got the lead because of a race control bug or something where I should have been restarting on the outside, and somehow I got put into first on the inside, I guess because the leader who stayed out for a couple laps decided to pit coming to one to go. And so that gave me the lead, which was cool, and I could tell on each of those restarts Steve was kind of picking up on where I was going more and more, and it was crucial to clear the guy by turn one on a restart, because if he was alongside of you on the outside coming off a two, it seemed like you would end up losing the lead. So one restart, I tried to wait a little bit, and everybody just went anyway, and I actually got some damage in the rear of my car that kind of hurt the drive off the corner, and I was really fortunate that we kept having yellows all the way to the end, because Steve definitely had a better car on short runs to begin with, and then with that damage, he would have got me if it had gone more than 2 or 3 laps, I think. So I guess I'll take it. I'm really happy to get a win, especially since I feel like I've let a few races go this season that I could have won. So it's cool to have some breaks fall my way.
And looking at the standings coming into this evening, you were 10th in the standings. You're going to move past Josh Berry. You're going to get close to Brad Davies and a couple of other drivers in front. So you'll be firmly in the top 10 in points, leaving the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. What are the goals heading forward in this second half of the season for Derek Wood?
Just to win as many races as I can. And, maybe with some crazy luck, I still have a shot at the top 3 or something. But for me, with all the things that have happened at the start of the season, I think it's just go out there and try to win as many races as I can, and have as much fun as I can doing it.
Can you go back-to-back in 2 weeks' time at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I think so. Indy's always been one of my favorite tracks, going all the way back to NASCAR 4 and all the previous sims. I've always really enjoyed that track because you really have to nail the line every lap, and the driver can make a pretty big difference there. So I feel like that's one of my strongest tracks, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Now, before we let you go to celebrate this victory here this evening, we know you have a lot of sponsors on the race car. We know you have a lot of people watching. Who makes it happen for Derek Wood?
Well, first I got to thank Whiskey River, the title sponsor on my car, Junior Motorsports, all the associate sponsors, Wrangler, Tax Slayer, Swab for Men. I'm sure I'm forgetting 1 or 2 of them. JD Laird painted my car. And then everybody over at the drill aisle that always helps me out practicing. Got to thank Brad Davies and Steve Sheehan for helping me with setups this week. I think we worked pretty well, and we all ended up running something a little bit different, but we definitely helped each other out this week, and it showed on the track.
There we go. There is your winner of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship event at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Derek Wood. I'm going to kick it over to Daryl Morley, who has caught up with Steve Sheehan.
Thank you very much, Tim. And Steve, you were in the hunt for history here tonight, going for 3 wins in a row, but history just somehow has a way of denying a person, and you were denied history here tonight by Derek Wood. And closing thoughts on this one, or opening thoughts for the interview, I guess we would call it. Could have been your 3rd consecutive appearance on Hot Lap Radio, too, bud.
First of all, congrats to Derek. How's it going, guys? Yeah, it was a good race. I really had a good car. I watched a few A-class races this week, and I improved a lot. I felt like I really had something good. Like Derek said, we worked together, and I really couldn't grasp the type of line and setup he could run. I chose to go with something else, and I really think I had one of the cars to beat tonight. It felt so good. But there was a yellow where the grid got switched, and instead of me starting on the inside as the leader, they put me on the outside and they switched everybody around from inside to outside, and Derek got to that was it. In my opinion, that gave Derek the win. I'm not sure. It was probably a little bit of software glitch, which it's on PSR TV. They'll fix it. It sucks for me just because we were mired with cautions and I couldn't really do anything. But I mean, I'm really happy to get these finishes for Tag Slayer. This is exactly what they deserve. This is what they deserved all season. I screwed up one of those restarts trying to get a jump on Derek, and I made Josh Berry run him over. And I'm really glad that everybody saved it, and I'm glad Derek won.
Obviously happy for Derek Wood, but you can't help but think about what could have happened. You had the dominant car, man. You had the pole position. You turned the fastest lap of the night, faster by a tenth of a second, more than a tenth of a second, or over anybody else that finished up in the top 5 or the top 10 for that matter. You had a hot rod here tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's as hooked up in relation to the rest of the field. That's the best I've felt. And I know I've said that after Charlotte. I know I said that after the past couple races, obviously. But I felt like I was so much faster. That first long green flag run, Derek caught me on the long run a little bit. But that's just because of how exaggerated the aero tightness is. I caught the lap traffic, which was sexy, by the way. I love nothing more than seeing that. Once I caught that lap traffic, Derek started gaining on me. And then once he caught the lap traffic, he lost it because he got the same aero push I did. I had a really good car, and I'm really happy to get third straight top 2. It's awesome.
Can your restarter run towards history in 2 weeks in Indianapolis?
Yeah, of course. I told you guys last week and on the radio show that I want this worse. I want this more than anybody else, and I screwed up my first half of the season. I didn't give the finishes Tag Slayer deserves, but I'm going to make up for it, and like I said, I'm going to try to get every pole, lead every lap, win every single race, because that's kind of what a racer does,
Steve, tell us about Tag Slayer again. Tell us what everybody else that helps it happen for you.
Well, as much as I love saying this every single week and getting the opportunity to advertise for this awesome company, once again, everybody that's listening would help support not only me, not only JRM, but most importantly, in my opinion, they would help iRacing if they not only did their taxes with Tag Slayer, but even went to their website during the broadcasts. That basically shows them that they're getting hits on their site because of iRacing, and that snowballs like you wouldn't imagine. So, got to thank them for being on the car, and we'll go get them next week.
There you go. That's Steve Sheehan. We'll put you down to Nim Cross, who was caught up with our third place driver, Josh Berry. Nim?
Down here with Josh Berry right now. Josh, a good third place run tonight. Up in the top 5 for most of the night. Had a lot of really strong battles, though. I see some wheel marks up and down the side of the car, and some different color paints on your car tonight. But it was tight battling out there. How'd it go for you?
Yeah, I mean it turned out to be a pretty good race for me. I mean, New Hampshire's probably one of my better tracks. I knew I had a pretty good car. I was just mostly concerned about qualifying. Usually when I qualify pretty good, I know that I have a good car in the race. So luckily I got that, qualified third, and was able to stay in the top 3 really the majority of the race, except for a couple restarts. But I mean, the racing was pretty wild. It's so odd to have to fight for the outside, and that's pretty much what we were having to do on every restart, and I think that's what probably caused a lot of the problems there. But it was tough. You just had to get it on the restarts because you couldn't give anything up.
Yeah, it looked like there was one instance where you were battling with Towler a little bit, and he was down the inside, and maybe lost a little bit of traction down the inside. We saw how hard it was to fight down the inside there quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Not really sure what happened right there, but I was on the outside, and it looked like to me that he was getting in pretty good, but then he was just gassing up in the center, and you can't do that with how the track is. I mean, you just can't do that and still turn and get off the corner. So, like I said, I don't know. I didn't think we made any contact on my end, but we might have. But shame on him for trying to do something that you just can't do.
There was a lot of time that you spent out in the top 5. Did you ever have any thoughts that you might be able to challenge for the win?
Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. It was just so much about track position. I mean, I knew I couldn't pass them without, them making a mistake or getting together or something like that. But, the race was pretty uneventful for the most part just because we only made 3 pit stops, and that was pretty surprising. I think that's usually not the case. Usually we make a lot more than that, and that changes the strategy up. But, really there at the end, on one of the restarts, I don't know, I think I just made the mistake on that one, and I was really trying to pay more attention to the outside car when they were going because we were just fighting for the outside so much that he kind of went, and then Derek paused on him, and I ran in the back of Derek, and it might have messed my car up a little bit, but I still don't think I would have had anything for him unless they'd got together or something.
Well, great run in 3rd place tonight. Tell us who makes it possible for you.
Yep, I just want to thank everybody at iRacing and NASCAR, PSR TV for putting this deal on. It's fun to be a part of, and Main Performance PC, Aboto Gaming Cockpits for all their help, and all my teammates, Thomas Hazard, Daniel Pope. We all had pretty good cars, probably not the best, but not bad. So I'm happy with that, and we'll go on to Indy.
Well, we wish you luck in Indy, and we'll send it over to Tim Terry, who is caught up with our new point leader.
Thanks, Nim. Over here with Ray Alfala coming home in position number 4. And Ray, it was far from easy. He had to come from about mid-pack. Walk us through the night.
Yeah, I probably picked the worst track this season to qualify badly on. Just the way this new build was with whatever changed on the track and the cars, it shifted the lane up by about a whole car width. And basically it was impossible to pass on the bottom. You had to dive it under there and use up the guy on the top, and I mean it was just the worst case scenario, just what we had to deal with tonight. And started 16th and basically felt like the entire race had gone by, and I only picked up 2 spots. So just went into survival mode really, and let people do their wrecking and just not wreck and come home 4th.
And survive you did. You will come out with unofficially a 19-point lead on Thomas Hazard. Did you know what was going on with Hazard? Did you know that he wrecked? And did that change the strategy at all, knowing that he was out of the race?
Yeah, I saw him spin, and I came probably within a foot of hitting him. And I mean, as we know from what happened last race, it really doesn't matter what point lead you have. You can just, you can be involved in a big, huge wreck and lose it all. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it changed my mindset, but it went from sort of being frustrated back in 13th to okay, even a top 10 is not bad. And then with the way the race played out, I was able to jump out there into the top 5 or 6. And then last restart, I was lucky enough to be on the outside, which is the place you wanted to be of all places here, and ended up 4th. I mean, it's just the way things work out. You try your best to put yourself in position, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes it does, and tonight it did.
Next week or 2 weeks' time, we head to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. From a short track-esque type race at New Hampshire to a wide-sweeping Indianapolis Motor Speedway, what do we expect?
We can expect the old tire model to go out with a bang at the worst track possible for it. So expect to see some four-corner drifting and ridiculous racing, and then we finally bring in the savior for Atlanta. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to touch Indy for a while. Probably just going to go and enjoy the tire model and work on Indy next week or something. Just really looking forward to leaving this old tire behind.
Now, before we let you go here this evening, who makes it happen for Ray Alfala?
Well, didn't get a good finish last week, but got to thank ProGeek Consulting with Matt Salo and JDR Graphics Shade Later for painting this ride up. Didn't get the finish I wanted at Michigan, obviously with this scheme, but tonight proved that this scheme is not haunted. There's no such thing as momentum, and brought home a good finish. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Always watch these broadcasts after the race or something. And thanks to iRacing, and see you guys at Indy.
There we go. There's Ray Alfala, driver of the number 2. I'm going to kick it over to Nim Cross, who has caught up with the driver of chassis 55-6 this evening, Brian Schoenberg.
Down here with Brian Schoenberg. Brian, always really excited about these races. And Brian, you had a good one tonight. You were up in the top, then you fell back a little bit, fighting hard, back up to the top, on the bottom, on the top. It looked like a pretty busy night for you tonight.
Yeah, with the Inside Sim Racing.tv Chevy, it was just like you said, it was wild out there. As we went into qualifying, I looked down the backstretch at my split times, and I was on track for my first ever pole. Messed up turn 3 and started 9th. If I won the pole, I probably could have contended, if not won the race, just because it's so hard to pass and clean air is so great. Yeah, but like you said, I got up to around 5th or 6th, and then Davies started slamming me into the wall down the backstretch, and then Pope door slammed me, and fell back to 9th or 10th. But luckily everything worked out. I stayed out, when green flag pit stops were starting, and I was lucky enough to catch a caution at the right time, get in the top 5, and we stayed there.
Well, a good point night for you. Running 5th right now. I'm not sure where you'll wind up by the end of the night, but getting down close to the end of the season here, at least in the second half. What are your outlooks for the rest of the season?
It'd be really nice to win a race. I thought even restarting 3rd on the last restart there, it might be my chance if Derek and Sheehan got together or something, but just the inside line wasn't good. But I'd love to try and get a win, but you look at Indy, we should be able to run top 5 there, just like Pocono, have a great car there. And then, the tire model comes out and that'll change everything, but I'm sure we'll be good. I got my wingman Ray Alfala, and, as long as you have him, you're never going to fail just because he's amazing.
Well, it was a great run for you tonight. We did get your sponsors in a little bit earlier. Anybody else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank InsideSimRacing.tv again. They gave me a play seat a week ago, and it's just phenomenal. Just thank them. Love them so much. ProGeek Consulting, JDR Graphics, Xlander, and just thank Ray again, Jason Loafing for calling the race, along with Alan Cryer, Donnie St. Hours, Carson Downs. A lot of people watching the race today. And I just also want to give a shout-out John Gorlinski. I think he made up 37 spots there. Give a shout-out to him for the Wrangler Chevy. And that's about it. It's just a great time. Thank you for sticking around and interviewing me. And, we'll see you guys at Indy. We'll be good there.
Brian Schoenberg brings it home 5th tonight here at Loudon. We'll send it back up to Darrell.
Thank you, Nim, and great job as always. Tim Terry, closing thoughts on a fantastic race here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, a racetrack that I'll get to visit in person in just a couple of weeks.
Fantastic night of racing, a little bit of green flag racing to start off, and then we saw the beating and banging, the crash and bang, paint swapping, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the race. Congratulations to Derek Wood. Steve Sheehan came oh so close to making history here this evening. And Nim, I think we're in for another great show coming up in 2 weeks' time at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the most prestigious tracks on the circuit. Great times great racing at Indy, one of my favorite tracks, and I'm sure it'll be a great race there too. Had a good race there last year, if I remember correctly. But looking forward to Indy, and as a couple of these guys said, maybe the last race on the old tire model. So it will be the end of an era here, but we'll see how that works out. But looking forward to Indy in 2 weeks.
That'll be Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 2 weeks' time. That'll be right here live once again on PSR TV. On behalf of Tim Terry and Nim Cross and all of us here at PSR TV, I'm Darrell Morley. Thanking you so much for tuning in and reminding you, Keep it shiny side up and rubber side down, and always, always, always keep that hammer down. We'll see you next time right here on PSR TV.